So, hi class, today we're going to talk about how to write an effective thesis. So to start out, you need a what and a why. So first what you want to do is form your opinion on a certain topic, and then you want to incorporate evidence that supports your opinion. So one thing that I notice in a lot of papers is that you need to be specific about your thesis. So an example is dogs make great pets because they're obedient, an example of an unspecific thesis would be people own dogs because they are nice. And to make that thesis more specific, you would say dogs make great pets because they are obedient, interact in a positive manner with children, and they are extremely loyal and loving. So one other thing that you need to remember about these theses is that they usually come at the end of an introduction paragraph. So you start out your paragraph with a more broad concept, and then you narrow it down into your thesis. So it's called the inverted triangle method. It goes from very broad to very narrow. So you want to end with your thesis at the end of your introduction paragraph. So now I want to have you guys interact a little bit and give me an example of a thesis statement. So you can write one about pets, sports, or favorite foods, whatever you want. So first you need to come up with an opinion. So Alyssa, do you have any ideas? You can start with favorite foods, pets.
College basketball is awesome.
Okay, so that's your opinion. So now you need to get evidence that back up that opinion and prove why your opinion is the right opinion. So can you think of any reasons why college basketball is awesome?
It's fun to watch. It's somewhat interactive because the fans get into it.
Yep, that's right.
And it's fast-paced, so you never get bored.
Okay, that's great. Those are great 3 reasons. And so usually with a thesis, a general formula to have is that you have your opinion, and then it's usually 3 pieces of evidence like we just did. So for future reference, it would be great to do that. So if you wanted to start out an introduction paragraph with focus on that thesis, do you have any ideas on a broader idea that you could start off your paragraph with, and then using the inverted triangle method, go down to a more narrow thesis? So anything in general about why sports are fun, or I don't know. Any ideas?
They're entertaining.
All right, so maybe you could start off with a description of a college basketball game to kind of tie the reader in, and then narrow it down into a thesis on why college basketball.
The rivalry between Duke and North Carolina is very entertaining.
Yeah, so you could start off with a description of a certain game that involves that rivalry between UNC and Duke. That would be a great example. So we already have a great introduction paragraph that will grab the reader's attention and then introduce our thesis effectively. So what we need to take from today's lesson is that a thesis has 2 parts: the opinion, and then 3 pieces of evidence that support your opinion and prove to the reader and make it clear that your opinion is the correct opinion. So do you remember what the method is that we use in an introduction paragraph that goes from broad to narrow?
Inverted triangle.
Right, perfect. And then how many pieces of evidence do you usually have after your opinion is introduced in a thesis?
3.
Great. And then we'll learn this later in our lesson, but you use these 3 pieces of evidence to structure your following body paragraphs. But we'll go into more detail later.